Shalom, Yasha'Allah. First and foremost, I would like to give all glory, honor, and infinite praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakha. Double honors to the beloved elders and the apostles at Great Millstone that taught me this truth. And peace and salutations to all you hopeful Lectakim out there laboring that are pushing this word in truth and in sincerity. This is your brother Amar from the GMS Boise, Idaho camp. And I wanted to just make a quick in the news, news announcement, that this is something that I wanted to make aware out there, which deals directly with prophecy as the tensions escalate among these other nations, and mainly neighboring countries that are sided with either Russia and China or Western allies, in this case, Pakistan and India. And Pakistan had attack on the border, I think it was last week or the beginning part of this week. And in response, India actually had turned off a few of the dams that supply the water to Pakistan, which is about 80% of their water, and that comes from this Indus River, which flows from India into Pakistan. And India having the dam set up so that they can get irrigation as well as hydroelectricity, which just like any dam, they have turbines in them that create electricity, which is an act of war in the sense that India had the power to have the on and off switch, which I'm going to grab the article that further explains why this is a major escalation in the tensions over there, and also the fact that Babylon has been talking about shifting its, cheap labor from China over to India. So a lot of things, are escalating. This is major war tensions, and we understand that all wars are economic before they are actual physical, because economic is and life sustaining. I mean, water is number one, but that's a major key flow to the farmers, to the fishermen, to the main supply of a country is how they get their water. But I just want to read this picture real quick. This is after an attack on India by Pakistan. Tensions are rising, and the 80-year-old Indus Valley Treaty, which is the name of the treaty that they have between them, that they wouldn't break it, or mess with each other's water. Pakistan has warned that if anything happens to the treaty, war could break out. And I'm going to grab a couple key points from this Al Jazeera, which is another, other media source that's not Western run, so-called, all news is, controlled. But I wanted to get the scriptures first on how this applies. This is Matthew 24, and I want to start at verse 3. And as he sat upon the Mount Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? So after Yahushua had got done teaching, he was over there just with his 12, his disciples around him, that were asking him these things privately. They wanted to know the answer, because even it was going over their heads. But this is verse 4, and Yahushua answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. Look what Yahushua started out with. That no man deceive you, because that's all these other false doctrines, these other camps, these different churches that are on every block, these different holidays that are trying to grab your attention, to try to make sure that if you don't do this or you don't do that, you're not a normal part of society, so that all comes from the doctrines of men, and anything outside the law, statute, commandments, the scripture, and the Bible, all the scripture, in the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, man, is gonna be off. It's gonna bring you into a whole nother thing. This is verse 5. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Hamashiach, and shall deceive many. So a lot of people are gonna come with that, we are the anointed one's doctrine, and through the spirit and faith and the studying of the individual that hears those different doctrines, it is up to you on an individual level to understand what the truth is go into the information that you're hearing. Like I always tell people, and brothers always tell them, don't just take my word for it. Go look it up yourself. Don't believe me. You got Google. Hey, Google it, man. You can fact check a lot of the things all the things that we say, other than the things that like through the spirit that we break down in the scriptures that obviously, that's Esau ain't going to tell you. But this is verse 5. Again, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Hamashiach, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. In this case, these water treaties being broken among major countries. And mind you this, Pakistan and India both have nuclear weapons. So that's why it's a major thing if these countries start escalating a war between themselves. Continuing, see that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Verse 7, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. So all these are the beginning of sorrows. So understand that it said famines, and blocking water is a direct, I guess you could say, a famine is a direct reaction of cutting off the water. Because if you don't have any water, you can't grow crops. Your crops will die. Then you're going to get a pestilence because people are starving, immune systems, down, no sustenance, no one's, going to be able to function at all, without water. That's one of the main things of life is a water, salt, flour, the blood of the grape, etc. I have to get that scripture, but I had another one in mind that I wanted to go to first. This is Jeremiah 28 and verse 8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence. So, hey, man, that evil, that hard times, you have to understand that we're prophesying you things that are real. We're not going to give you a sugar-coated prosperity doctrine that's going to make you feel good. But at the end of the day, the feel-good doctrine comes from knowing that Esau is going to go in fucking chains, that this is not it, that we're living in hell, not in heaven. The fact that, we understand that this ain't it, and the fact that I say we're living in hell, not heaven, because people think that this actually is heaven. You have Jake trying to make their whole constellation this fucking trash world, in the sense of this is the state of the world that Esau has created for society to live in. The amount of resources that are on this planet, nobody should go hungry. There should be nobody that should be lacking. There should be no chemical that need to be created that never biodegrade, that nature cannot produce naturally, that has no adverse effect to your body. But Esau is going to make everything, a non-biodegradable chemical, a carcinogen, PFAs, everything top to bottom, man. This ain't it, man. Because we're prophesying to you this great evil. And we're not trying to tell you it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay for the elect. And that's the good news. It's going to be okay for the 1/3 that are going to be saved. That's the good news. And at the end of the day, it's going to be good news for the 2/3, because they got to get put out of their misery. Like it says, death is better than continual sickness, roughly paraphrasing. And the fact that they themselves are going to be reincarnated in the kingdom, with a new body, the same spirit, but a new body, that fulfills the second covenant, in the fact that you'll never die and you'll never go off again. You're going to be reincarnated with your head down for a little bit, but at the end of the day, everyone's going to be okay. And I don't want to get too much off topic, but this is continuing verse 9. The prophet in Jeremiah 28 and verse 9, the prophet which prophesieth of peace, when the word of the prophet shall come to pass, then shall the prophet be known that the Lord Yahweh hath truly sent him. So you have to understand that we're all telling you these things that are going to make you feel uncomfortable, but we need to blow that whistle, blow that trumpet of something. Hey, there could be a conflict over here. that directly affects us, because a lot of the things that we do get are from India as well. You know, they've been a major trade partner. I see all the stuff made in India all the time. But I wanted to get into this article, you know, because having these two countries go to war is going to directly affect us here in the States, as well as the world, you know, peace. Because again, this is two nuclear countries. This is a Kashmir attack. Does India's Indus Water Treaty freeze threaten Pakistan? Question mark. Pakistan has deemed India's suspension of the Indus Water Treaty following tourist attack in Kashmir's Pahalgam an act of war. So, hey man, so they say since you turned off the water, hey man, you know, that's pretty much an act of war. And I'm just going to skim through this real quick. And this was 11 hours ago that this was posted, by the way. In tit for tat moves this week, India and Pakistan have entered a strategic standoff following Tuesday's attack on tourists in Pahalgam, Indian administered Kashmir, which resulted in the deaths of at least 26 people. So dang, it wasn't a small attack, man. But hey, look how they responded. You know, and I'm sure, you know, they'll try to get a talk together, but who knows? Something else could happen, because these countries, you know, have been having a lot of tensions, you know, for a minute, man. I remember seeing a couple videos of even India and Chinese troops going at each other with sticks and stones and spears and knives and all these things, man. And other people, Pakistan and India, see, these are two border guards, you know, that are out facing face to face all the time, man. So again, you know, this is just another update on something that could escalate, you know, into a major conflict, because turning off someone's water, especially a major river, like the one that they shut off. Here you can see this water map right here, showing you that it comes out of India and flows into Pakistan, and then it forks off into the different other main rivers, you know, that you see here. You know, and also China, I've heard, I haven't been able to look too much, that China is even making its moves to turn off its water and certain sources to India, in the fact that they did that. You know, so again, this is just another quick news update. I didn't want to make this into a long drawn out lesson, but the spirit just, you know, goes where it goes, because all of this is connected. Even though someone who doesn't, you know, fully understand, you know, even what the whole Bible is about, they're gonna think you're over here and talking about that. But hey, man, all is in the spirit, and all connects, because all this is about our deliverance. And another sign of that happening and getting even closer is, you know, this article, because like scriptures say, rather that ye prophesy, you know. So hey, man, we're telling you these things because you need to be aware. And I just want to make this lesson, and Lord willing, that it was edifying unto the elect. Till next time, I like to give all glory, honor, and infinite praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Ruach HaKodesh, and double honors to the beloved elders and the apostles at Great Millstone that taught me this truth. And peace and salutations to all you hopeful elect talking out there laboring, that are pushing this word and truth and in sincerity. Till next time, Lord willing, Shalom.